This is the JFJ Conspiracy, where the shop talk is rock.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. Well, how you guys doing this week?
Good. Absolutely
Doing good,
great.
gentlemen.
Trying to stay dry from all the rain.
Oh,
Yeah.
3-4 days straight.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm finally over. I've had a bout of some kind of, I don't know what it is. We went to the Queen Mary a couple nights ago, and we went ghost hunting. And I think instead of
that's
catching,
what got you.
I think instead of catching a ghost, I caught a cold of some kind.
Man.
But
Or a ghost that gave you a cold.
hey, we had an awesome time.
Good.
I'll give a shout out to Nick Groff. He is he does ghost. He did Ghost Adventures, and he does paranormal activity shows. It's just really, really interesting stuff. And you have to go in with an open mind. And it was neat being in a room with a bunch of people who were not judgmental. They were there to have a good time. They were all interested in the same thing. And we got to meet a lot of neat people along the way. Ended up being a 12 or 13-hour day with these people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a full
That's unusual
excursion.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, I like to be in bed by 8.
12 or 13 minutes is Frank's limit with new people, Jim.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of people, and we had a good time. We really did. Met a lot of good folks, and Cindy had a blast, and it was kind of a birthday present to her, so I'll give her a happy birthday
Nice.
shout out.
Oh, happy birthday, Cindy.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Hey, we were talking a little bit before the podcast started. Today is Alice Cooper's birthday.
That's right.
And 71 years old. That's hard to believe.
Wow.
But
wow. All our heroes are late
It's still
60s.
doing it.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think he has any sign of slowing down whatsoever. So,
No.
Jim came up with a great question. Do you have a favorite Alice Cooper song? And I know Jerry's been chomping at the bit to tell us what his is. So let's start with Jerry. What's your favorite Alice Cooper song?
Under My Wheels.
There you go.
I love it.
Great one.
I love it.
One.
That early music, that first band of his, it
Yes,
wasn't his. It was actually the Alice Cooper band. I think
Right.
when it all started out, it wasn't all about him.
Right.
But that album, was that Killers? Is that off
It sounds about right.
something
Killers,
like
I believe.
1971, something like that?
71, 72, all this good stuff. Well, Greatest Hits came out in 74, so he
Yeah.
was putting stuff out 71,
Yeah.
72, 73.
Yeah.
But yeah, Under My Wheels is always my favorite.
Mm.
I like that song. Muscle of Love I like also.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Just throwing it in there.
Great tune.
Love the way it starts. Oh,
Yeah.
good riff.
I'm gonna tell you what. When you posed the question earlier to pick a song, I thought, no brainer. I'll go back and I'll pick this. Oh no, it's not that. Okay, wait. End up listening to music most of the afternoon while I was supposed to be babysitting my grandson. And well, first of all, for the record, multitasking, absolutely. The favorite album of mine of Alice Cooper's, I had to go with a full album to start, is From the Inside.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't heard that album, it's a concept album about him being in an insane asylum type of deal. Just
And great song.
every
the title
song,
track, great
yes,
tune.
it starts off hard, and it's just one song after another. I had that album in my rotation for the longest time, where I would listen to it while I was driving because
Check it out. Yeah.
great, yeah, From the Inside, check it out. But
Oh.
today, and only today, probably my favorite Alice Cooper song, I'm going to go back to 1973 and the Muscle of Love album, and I'm going to tell you that Working Up a Sweat. Let me tell you something. Alice Cooper has never had a problem. I've read this in interviews. He's never had a problem coming up with lyrics. He says for whatever reason, they just come naturally for him. And he's always tongue-in-cheek. If you listen to him, there's a lot of humor. He was Weird Al before Weird Al was.
Yeah, Unfinished Sweet is a classic if you listen to that.
Yeah.
About
About
the
going to the
dentist
dentist.
chair.
Yeah.
Hey. What?
But if I can remember correctly, the Working Up a Sweat, there's one part about, the bandages come off today, really feeling sick. the hardest part explaining all those blisters on my nose. You know, you're totally expecting something else.
Right.
But that was the type of lyrics that he wrote, and I didn't catch them in 1973 at 10 years old.
No, I didn't catch any of that stuff. I love the music. I didn't catch any of the,
Well, my brother Dennis had the album Muscle of Love, which actually came in a cardboard carton.
Cardboard box,
And that's back when record companies put money into stuff. They backed it up, and you opened it up, and there was a whole thing about the guys going to New York for the first time from the actual song, Muscle of Love and all these other songs. It's about the band coming of age and going to New York and finding the strip shows and all this stuff. Well, the big cartoon almost of it was they go into a strip show and it's, nude live women and all this. And on the back, you flip it over and it's a gorilla who has just torn these guys to pieces.
Yes.
I was just, as a kid, enthralled with it. I would just look at that, just like that. The imagination on these guys. This is just...
I remember thinking, am I going to get in trouble if I look at this?
That was the last album with the original Alice Cooper band.
Right.
And then from there, it became Alice Cooper as a solo act. But, still gives me chills. You listen to that album, Muscle of Love, great songs.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
This will probably sound a little cliche, I think. Because I don't know how many songs I ran through my head, just songs of his that I love. But one song I love of his that I just never tire of is "No More Mr. Nice Guy."
That's one of his biggest hits.
Classic.
One of his biggest hits.
Yep.
So I mean, like I said, it sounds a little cliche or whatever.
Not really good lyrics though.
Yeah.
Good lyrics.
If I had to pick an album, I'd probably say "Welcome to My Nightmare."
Good album.
Yes.
The concept album.
Yes.
I was a big fan of that. I love $1 Billion Babies. Like I said, there was a string of albums there for a while where they were just...
He couldn't miss. They couldn't miss.
He was knocking them out of the park. And like I said, he did go for a while there. Whatever was the trend, he would kind of change his music to that. And that's kind of when I got away from his music a little bit. I ended up going back and buying it later. But some of his albums, like any big band, you get one or two great songs, and the rest of it's just... forgettable.
Yeah.
But those early albums,
yeah.
And what more classic, Jim, than having Vincent Price, on your record?
Right.
That to this day, when you hear that on the radio, it's like this takes us back to a time, man.
My gosh, I forgot that, guys. I was thinking
That
about his
will.
little rap in the Thriller.
That too, yeah.
No, I forgot. Oh my gosh, guys, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well done, Frank.
Well
done.
and
I forgot about that.
And how taboo it was for singing Cold Ethel. Remember? I remember singing that around my mom and her looking at me like, "You sick child, you. What are you doing?"
I failed my child.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like I've seen him a couple times in concert. The last time I think was 2007, and we've talked about this before. Stellar musicians always.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great show. And he if it wasn't for Alice Cooper, there'd be no Kiss. There would be no Guar. There'd be no
Rob Zombie.
None of them, because he was. And then, granted, he took it from somebody else, and it all comes from somewhere, but. He took it to a level at that time. You remember when he would be on TV on a night show, whatever,
It was like a night gallery or a whatever. It was with those two old ladies
or something. But I remember the big buzz was Alice Cooper's going to be on TV tonight.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on on this cop show, and when he's talking to the police, he's surprisingly normal.
Right.
And he's and he speaks to him in like a poem. Mm-hmm. And I remember the show. It's the two old ladies. Helen Hayes is one of them, and they were two old lady detectives.
Yes.
And he was doing a show at a bar, small dive, and they went in there to ask him something, and he just, I remember. Alice Cooper's going to be on TV tonight, and I can't think of the show. Two old ladies detectives, like a Miss Marple or something like that.
Well, there were so many of them back in the 70s. That was the in show. The detective shows were the in thing.
Yeah.
But Alice Cooper, you can't go wrong. I've told you guys before, I don't care for the Desmond Child collaborations.
Everybody was doing it at the time.
Yeah, and that's like I said, he would change the style of music and the style of how he sang, and it wasn't true to Alice Cooper, in my opinion. Although he only got his biggest hits, probably, Poison and Feed My Frankenstein and all those MTV hits. But,
right. Well, he adapted to that pretty well. The
yeah.
MTV thing.
Yeah. That wasn't my favorite era of Alice Cooper, though.
No, but he kept on rolling. He kept on steamrolling.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff, I'd go to the show now.
Him.
Did either of you get the Welcome to My Nightmare 2? The return to Welcome to My Nightmare album that he did.
No,
did not.
I forget the girl's name. Kasha? Is that her name? Pop Star is on. It featured on the
Kesha.
album. Kesha. See, is what do I know? Yeah. Kesha, Maroon 5. It's all the same. But
that would be that would turn me away from it.
Well,
right.
She was, I think, a big fan, and so they did a song together on just one on the album, and it pairs to the original, but it had some good songs on there. Still, it was not bad.
Really?
Yeah. So check out Alice Cooper. You can't go wrong.
Check out. Yeah, Welcome to My Nightmare.
Wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, 71 years old.
71.
That's
My
great.
God.
And like I said, no sign of stopping, because
no.
he's enjoying what he's doing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, let's talk about some new music.
Let's do it.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
We've got 3 new bands here tonight, and let's start with Jerry. You seem to be the guy.
Thank you, Frank. No, I'm just eyeing my notes here. The artist I have tonight is Jerry Lenin, as in Vladimir, not as in John Lennon.
Right.
It's Jerry Lenin, Lenin, and obviously he's Russian. But he's got some good stuff. And apparently in Russia, he's a big star. He was in a band. Now, check this out. It's Russia's famous punk band called the Four Cockroaches.
Right. I like that.
That's what I thought. And later they changed the name to Terracana, which if you Google that, it's those big beetles that are segmented like on Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
So, roaches, beetles, whatever. But it's progressive rock, they call it, or from Freestyle Records. And he's got a single out from 2014 is when the album hit. It's called Don't Bury Me Before I Die, also the name of the album. And it's a good little tune. He's got an LP also, Blind of Tears, with Ladies Man. Now, I guess Ladies Man, he's kind of like fronting the group. So it's not necessary. It says Jerry Lenin and Ladies Man. And they got 2 albums, Blind of Tears and Loaded with Love. All right. That both came out in 2018, November 2nd and November 30th, respectively. So he's cranking stuff out. He's got a new single called Welcome to Hell, which he's gonna have that's just a single off the forthcoming LP. So folks, when we get it, we'll throw it out there. But I like it. I like this stuff. Obviously, there's a little language barrier, but the song Frank's going to play, folks, it's good music. I get a little in excess out of it. The keyboard in the background, the backing guitars. I get a little sticks out of it too. He sounds a little bit like Dennis DeYoung, but it's really good stuff. He does everything: music, lyric, recording, mix, mastering, and I like that. I like like Shakin' Abe does.
There you go.
The whole thing in one bag. You don't have to worry about who edited my stuff.
Right.
It's
one stop shop.
You can only blame one person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of blame.
And I like this stuff. I like it. He's co-leader of also a band called Mechanical Poet.
Wow.
He sang for a band called Luna Damien. And again, leader of the glam rock band Ladies Man, but it has his name also. It says Jerry Lenin and Ladies Man, but it's just good stuff. It's good music, good old rock and roll, and I like it. And obviously, he's trying. The language barrier is a thing, but he has an album out. I found on YouTube. It's all in Russian. The album cover's in Russian. I don't know what it says, but I listened to the album and it's fantastic.
All right.
I have no idea what he's saying, but it's great. It's great music. It's great music. It's great music.
Well, let's give
Jerry Lenin.
Jerry Lenin and Don't Bury Me Before I Die. Let's give it a listen.
say, shut up the sea, I'll never be the same. Can't in a crowd together round. Day before I've been in solitude and thought a lot for what my fate is doomed to fail. It wasn't just, it's all of the past. Love with this, I do not care who gonna stop me. I don't care who wanna make me cry. For I'm strong enough, don't bury me before I die. Round and round in tries to be one of the sad and remain alone in empty houses. Yeah, soul was a mess. I saw no chance.
All right. Well, there's Jerry Lenin with "Don't Bury Me Before I Die."
No, yet.
Yet. You know,
your Russian is impeccable there, Jerry.
yes.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate that. I learned something in school.
That's some catchy guitar work.
It is, and are you gonna? If you show that cover photo, I'm thinking of Frank.
Yes.
Of course, Homeboy's got a Gibson Les Paul Sunburst,
Right.
which our boy Ace Frehley is known to play once or twice, so
Right.
that gets me too. But you know, you appreciate it, and it's good stuff to me. I like it. I like it, guys.
Yeah, it's slightly dated in the style.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I wonder if that is because of the location. It seems like last week,
I would agree.
The last episode, we had Hardware 86, and they awesome musicians, but they sound a little dated.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder if it's just that side of,
That side of the planet gets stuff later than us.
maybe so.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe
Maybe
so.
it's a NASA thing. I don't know. But you're right. It sounds dated. It came out in 2014, but if you go to iTunes fresh right now, it says August of 2018. So I don't know if he polished it up and re-released it or what. But, it's only 5 years ago, guys.
Yeah, no, I like the the
4
vocals.
years ago and change, yeah.
A little, a little Scorpion-esque on the vocals.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
You said you heard Styx with Dennis DeYoung.
His couple of notes he hit sounds a little Dennis DeYoung-y to me, but that's neither here nor there. He's doing his own thing and it's
Cool.
original. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
the vocal
Lennon.
quality reminds me of Dennis DeYoung. I give the guy props for singing in English.
Right. And guys, think about it. It can't be easy to throw out the nuance in a different language.
No.
We're used to our little innuendo and nuance and the way you say things or the way you embellish it. And, like I said, that first album is completely in Russian, the singing and everything. But if you listen to the music, it's righteous. It's good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Somebody made the comment, or I read somewhere that, other parts of the world just aren't as trendy as we are.
Mm-hmm.
We jump into a band and we, they're one-hit wonders here, but then they, the rest of the world, they go on and on. I'll give you an example. A band like Aha. So they're remembered
Reading
for Take
my
On
mind,
Me.
Jim. Oh my God, reading my mind.
But they sold something like 100 million records
Right.
worldwide, but here they were kind of a flavor of the month, and that was it. And
And I believe best new band winner, and the Grammys.
Kiss of Death, yes.
Yeah, just saying.
I thought you were going to mention David Hasselhoff, so I was
No.
off
That's
just a little
right.
bit.
Isn't he a big?
I
rock star
don't think
in
David
Germany
ever
or
had a
something?
hit here.
He's never been anything here. He's huge in
Not
Germany.
singing. Not
What do you
singing
say?
anyway.
No.
Knight Rider I'll take every day of the week, but don't sing.
Yeah.
Don't sing, Michael Knight, please.
Don't hassle the Hoff.
It's just
Don't
odd. It's just odd how trends are different in different countries.
Yeah.
But it's good music. Jerry Lenin, Don't Bury Me Before I
Jerry
Die.
Lenin.
Like it. I like it. All right, well, let's go with... I'm trying to decide. You want to go next, Jim, or do you want to save...
I don't care. I'll go next.
You sure? Okay.
Sure. Why not? Okay, so the group I have is called the Bralettes. They're a power trio, four young women from Dallas, Texas. They they have kind of a surfy sound. I found them on Bandcamp, just kind of going through, looking at different bands under the Power Pop banner. I'll give you their I'll give you their little spiel from their Bandcamp thing. It says, "Be confident, love yourself and your body. Start a band and take your shirt off in front of strangers. Do whatever you want."
Wow.
And kind of the impression I get is they were just 4 friends who started a band. They picked up instruments and started going. They're all self-taught. And I like their sound. I like the honesty of what they're doing. I listened to the whole album. They sing about kind of a variety of different emotions. Things I think young women would probably maybe relate to a little better, like being shy in front of the guy at school. And they sing a lot about body positivity and things like that. They actually do perform in bralettes sometimes.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like I guess like a bra you wear on the outside of your as clothing. I'm not 100% sure myself. But it's got a real 60s vibe to it, 60s girl group kind of thing going on. It's got that surfy kind of reverb tone on the guitar. It's so there's 3 of them. It's Paulina. We only get first names. Fortunately for me, they're easy to pronounce.
Yeah, I never get it that way.
Well, I'm not doing any Scandinavians or Russians this week. So Paulina, who plays guitar and sings, Molly, who plays bass and does backing vocals, and Andy. And they call themselves Bubblegum Punk.
All right.
So let's listen. This track is called Scary Harry.
This is Scary Harry. Let's give it a listen. All right, that is the Bralettes.
I like it.
Scary Harry. First impressions, I was thinking of the 5, 6, 7, 8s. And
I could see that.
And I mean that is a total compliment, not as a knock. I'm not a big fan of the girl pop stuff as much as you are. I'll listen. I don't own any other than the 5, 6, 7, 8s, as a matter of fact. But it's catchy, and that's because of Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. No, but that's good. I'd be interested to hear.
It's funny you said Quentin Tarantino. That's what made me think of, Frank. Is that that band in the movie?
That would be the 5, 6, 7, 8s, Jerry, and that's why I brought it up.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. I always go to the Crazy 88 scene, and that's where they're at.
Yes,
so
yeah. And
there's
that's what I thought of though, Frank.
Yeah, you can tell there's like a
beautiful
obvious Ramones influence in there too, and but they're a young band, and like I said, I just love the honesty of what they're doing. A little different than anything we've picked so far, I think.
I like it.
Kind of a lo-fi vibe almost. But it's catchy. We picked that song particularly because they have a video for it. You can find it on YouTube, and we'll post it down below so you guys can check it out. But the rest of the album is they do a song in Spanish called Dime. There's
Talk to me.
like I said, it kind of runs the gamuts of emotions through the record. There's some slower stuff, there's some faster stuff, and some stuff that's this is kind of the video is kind of fun, kind of kitschy, and but there's some really thought-provoking lyrics actually in there. So,
well, you would think with a name like the Bralettes, how serious are they going to be?
Right.
You know, it sounds like it's going to be a fun band.
right,
Yeah.
You know,
which is what you expect.
right?
But like it said, they're into this sort of body positivity thing, and so
Cool.
good on them, I think.
Yeah,
and
nothing
hope
wrong with that.
like they're just starting out, so would like to see where they end up down the road.
Yeah, glad.
Well,
we
that's
could
high
feature
praise
them.
indeed. That's high praise indeed. Then, like you said, Frank, of 5, 6, 7s, and 8s. You know, I didn't know that was the name of the band. I just said, that sounds like that band in Kill Bill.
There
Cool
you go.
band. I
All
like
right,
5,
I didn't
6,
know.
7,
No,
8s.
that's-
I love
that
that
is a-
whole
that is
kind
a
of girl
compliment, yeah.
garage, that
Yeah.
girl garage thing.
Yeah.
Mm,
No,
very good.
that's- I would be interesting to see where the Bralettes take off from here. No, and I
luck,
didn't mean
Bralettes.
it that
No,
way.
no.
Yeah, right, Frank.
And I know how the band progresses from this moment on.
Progresses from this point.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
Check them out anyway, people.
All
Like
right,
yes.
they're on Bandcamp.
On Bandcamp. Very good. Now, is their album available also through Bandcamp, or is it just is there other outlets, other digital?
It's a digital download. So
And support your local bands, people. I tell you, these bands that are putting their music out on Bandcamp, you're taking the time to listen to them. A lot of them, like we've mentioned before, you can set your own price, and you want to pay $1, pay $1. You want to pay $10 for a whole album or an EP or whatever. Bandcamp is great because it really benefits the artist.
Bandcamp is great.
Yeah.
it does. And I found also that it's not just digital downloads. Sometimes you can buy the vinyl straight from the artist.
Yes.
Isn't it a wonderful time
Or
to be
CD or
alive, guys?
whatever.
Vinyl is back out for debut artists. We can get some vinyl and digital.
If we could just get it at an affordable price, that's the thing.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
one thing at a time, Frank. You know, one thing at a time.
I hear you.
Vinyl and digital, that's a heck of a leap. You know.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, the band actually is an artist. It's a young man from Seattle, Washington, by the name of Alynn Sobolik. And when I was corresponding back and forth with him, the main thing to him was get my name right, please. So I actually seriously. So you know
You're
me
not
and
too good at it, Frank,
way
so
I
he
butcher
probably
names.
caught wind of that.
Yes. So what I did is I actually recorded myself saying his name, and I sent him the file, and I said, "Is this right?" And he says, "You may proceed." So I guess I got it right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I, as you guys know, I'm a fan of guitars and home recording and the whole like Jim in the garage band situation. It doesn't have to be slick. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's real sounding and raw. And Alan's got a sound in his guitar playing that I thoroughly enjoy. The song I'm going to play for you is called "Scratch That Itch," which is also the name of a 2-song single/EP that he has out. Came out in December of last year. He's playing the guitars and the bass and the vocals. And he's got help from Sebastian Rivera on drums, and is recorded and mixed by Cade Sampson. And the B-side is called the B-side Groove, and I was almost going to pick that song, but I really like the song called Scratch That Itch. And keep an open mind with the vocals, because it starts off, in my opinion, a little rough on the vocals, but once he gets to singing and it gets in there and gets a little growl to him, it's really good. So this is Alynn Sobolik with Scratch That Itch.
It's not a simple task, nor a solo act. One man cannot simply fill all the holes and cracks the name of fits. Someone lay the bass and pick up the sticks. Someone help scratch the itch. Someone help scratch the itch. I don't take no drugs, don't suffer from a no withdrawal, but a life without music is the worst of them all. There ain't no cure for the itch that sears. The only thing that eases the pain is when notes meet the ears. Someone help scratch the itch. Someone help scratch the itch.
Scratch the itch, not that itch. And Alan, I know you're going to hate me for that, but it's Scratch the Itch. And
Yeah, well, you got his name right, so that's
that's a step in the right direction.
right.
Now that, like I said, that is raw garage music right there. You know, you're he's talented young man.
Oh yeah,
What'd you think, Jerry?
I liked it. Good stuff. Very garagey, very unique. Very you can tell it's all him. And I always like that. I always like it when somebody can just lay this stuff out. And I don't know how they record it. Do you do vocals first? Do you do bass first? Do you do drums first? I don't know. But anybody that's out there doing it like that on their own and self-producing and selling it, I like it. I like it a lot. And he's local, Frank, you said?
Seattle, Washington.
Okay, well, close enough. Yeah. I like it. West Coast. Yeah, boys.
What about you, Jim?
It was a little slower than I expected when it started out. I thought it was going to pick up and kind of boogie along, but it's got that riffy sort of vibe to it, that kind of a groove that I know you love, and it's well done. I liked it. I'd like to get some more time with it, actually.
Yeah, I actually my only dig on it is I wish he had some tube screamer or something on that solo, because that the rhythm work is so thick and juicy sounding. Yeah, and then the solo comes in. It's just a little tinny,
little thin.
You got to cut it hard. Yeah.
Throw a tube screamer on there. Maybe double it up, and holy mackerel, I think you got yourself something there. So, but that's Alynn Sobolik and Scratch the Itch. Check him out. He's available on Bandcamp. Now, interesting enough, he told me what I do, guys, so you know kind of the process, is when we go through Bandcamp, even though a lot of times you send me the music, I go back and I always purchase a song from the artist, even if it's just one song. So that way we're supporting them, and if we get a little love back from them from a follow, a like, a share, or whatever on the podcast, it's paid. It's worth it. So,
very good idea.
With him, he didn't want any money. He says, you know what, I don't have PayPal. He says, just stream it, download it, or whatever. I went ahead and bought it anyway. So, Al, I don't know how you're going to get your money, but you're going to get your money.
But Frank sent some, so.
yeah, absolutely. I want there to be a little bit of reward for all the hard work these artists are doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
At $1, you couldn't even buy, even in our day, you couldn't even pick up a 7-inch single for $1.
No. What was the 45 back in our days? I remember, far back as I can remember, it was maybe 6th grade, 6th or 7th, Zodies would have 3 45s for 99 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But, I mean, that was a special occasion, Jim. It wasn't all the time. I mean,
it was Tony Orlando and Don.
Yeah.
You know, right. trying to remember my Jemco days. It seemed like they come away with like $1.50 or something. Right. I don't know, but you got 2 songs for $1.50, and now, just talking about Bandcamp, people cry about spending a couple bucks to get some songs, but they think nothing of going and spending $4 for a coffee at Starbucks.
Right. There you go. There you go.
Which is gone in 20 minutes or whatever, and.
Well, what's a pack of cigarettes these days? $10?
$4 you could pick. $4 you could pick up an EP,
I was behind
right?
a guy in line. Yeah,
Last you
behind a
forever.
guy in line. $8.24, Frank. I just said, my God, thank God I quit about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Now
My
there's,
gosh.
you know, we all have our own vices. Ours happen to be music, so
Yep.
it's a lot cheaper than smoking cigarettes, folks. That's for sure.
Yes, it is, and you
A
get
lot
to
healthier.
you get to revisit it too. Yeah.
Hey, let's jump into this, guys. Let's move right along because kind of excited about this. Jerry. And
Yes, sir.
This was Jim's pick, right?
Uh-huh.
My
Right.
pick.
And what was it, Jim? Remind us.
Cheap Trick in color.
The classic album, the second album, the sophomore release of Cheap Trick in color. Wow. Take it ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, okay. Let's just look. September 1977.
Freshman year.
Yeah, recorded here in
Oh,
Los
my
Angeles. Produced by Tom Werman.
Woo.
Follow up. You know, interestingly, their first album was released in '77. Also,
Right. Yeah, same year. They came right back with it.
it was weird how they would do albums like that quick.
They all did back
know?
then.
Back then, yeah, every 6 months, Kiss album coming out.
Yeah.
I digress. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. they were hard up for money or whatever, right?
41
So like,
minutes,
hey,
do it.
get something else out there. And
Yeah.
you know, I love their debut.
Me too.
And there's a lot of bands like that. Their first album comes out and it's great, and then the second album comes out and it just tanks. But every once in a while, there's one of those bands that just, I think, builds on what they did on that debut, and they just come back with something better. And I think In Color is that. I mean, I think the songwriting is a little more polished,
Great
a
album.
little more radio friendly. Just like they had gotten their feet underneath them, and it's just such a good album.
Yep.
I mean, there's really not a bad track on the album.
No.
Okay.
Here we go, Frank. Hang on, folks.
You're
What-
all
what's the-
talk.
what's-
You're
what's the
all
bad
talk.
song? Okay.
Yeah.
You're All Talk, I will say, is my least favorite song on the album.
They went disco on us, guys. Come on.
Oh, you think it's disco?
Oh.
I guess it's got a little bit of a
That
disco-y
Bunny
kind of
is
beat
going
at the end,
100 miles
especially in
an
the
hour.
outro, right?
Yeah.
Least favorite song on the album, though,
Yes.
is You're All Talk.
Yeah.
And my son was down here last week. We listened to it together, and we both agreed, like, least favorite, You're All Talk.
I'm looking at the song list. I would agree with you guys. Yeah. Least favorite, but it's still good.
Now, my son Dominic, I always like to give him a shout out because he's into music. He went ahead. I told him what we were going to be, talking about, and he watched the podcast. He went out right away and listened to it, and he was angry at Hello There because it's a minute and 41 seconds, and he says, I'm just getting into the song, and it's over. He says, what's up with a song that's a minute and 41 seconds long?
That's how you have a
You're
10
talking
song,
to the wrong person.
That's how you have
I
a
know.
10-song album at 41 minutes.
Well,
That's how you do it, Dominic.
You know,
You got 10
It didn't-
songs,
It
41
didn't need to
minutes.
be any longer. It's a minute and a
but
half
you know
of
what?
perfection.
I think even to this
All he's saying
day,
is hello there. Yeah, it's time to rock.
to this day, that's how they open their concerts, man. That's
yes.
it jumps
That's
in
classic.
and then it go into a medley of some time. Or what? Cindy and I went and saw them, and Peter Frampton not long ago. It was a year or two ago,
Right.
and it took me back to 1977. Those guys are just as good live now as they were, 30 plus years ago.
Is that the year you saw him?
I saw them in '77. They opened for Kiss.
Kiss,
First
yeah.
time I saw them, and I'd never heard of them at that point, and went out right away and took my mom to take me to Music Plus and buy their albums right after that Kiss show.
God bless her.
Yep. Yep. So
Did you pick up the first album or did you pick up In Color?
I picked up In Color because it had I want you to want me on there, and
Yeah.
they played most of the songs from that. There was a few from the first album, but the majority of it was In Color.
Yes.
And probably only like a 30-minute set, right? Or
It
40-minute
was
set.
maybe 40 minutes, and I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. It's been you're amped up for Kiss, so
Sure, of course.
but that was the only time I think in my life that I saw an opening band that I was a little disappointed they were over. They were done. Because
yeah.
most of the times you look at your watch, okay, I got time to go to the bathroom, or
When do we get to the headliner, right?
Yeah.
That's a headliner coming on.
And they had so much energy. Awesome show. Now, I Want You to Want Me is another song that's been played out way too much. good song, but it's not. It's nothing I have to hear on
The
a regular
live
basis.
version is played out.
Oh yeah, well, that Budokan was just through the roof.
That's where I got my That's where I got my Cheap Trick Jones, and then I went backwards.
And that's where I got sick of that song, because every time you turn on the radio, I want you to just come on. But I have to say, the live version does kick butt all over the
yes, it does.
studio version.
You have a favorite song on there, Jerry?
Yes, Downed and Southern Girls.
Love Southern Girls.
I texted you guys or messaged you guys a couple 3 days ago. I probably haven't heard In Color in 15 years, easily. And I just played it through the AirPods, laid on the couch, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about that."
I'm also a big fan of Clock Strikes 10. Great song.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you got all that music. My Jones was from Budokan.
Yeah.
So when you go back and listen to the same song on In Color,
it's a little sterile too, because it's
a
studio.
little ragtime piano and some of the background, and it's like, well, wait a minute.
Now I want to throw something. I want to throw something at both you guys, because I know neither one of you like re-recordings, and you don't like bands going back and redoing their work.
No, don't touch it.
Have either of you listened to the 1997 re-recorded versions of In Color produced by Steve Albini?
I don't care who they produce it by, and I don't care if the original band's in it. I'm not going to do it.
All I'm going to tell you.
Oh, no.
Hear me
Frank,
out.
don't tell me you have a favorite song.
Just hear me out.
Oh, no, Frank, no.
If you like the
said
production.
the best Sabbath album was the one with Dio. Come on. You're killing me,
and he was right.
This is, again, hear me out. If you like the production of the debut album, look it up on YouTube. They have the complete album re-recorded in 1990, because Cheap Trick was never happy with the way In Color came out. They hated the sound.
It's a little bubblegummy. Yeah, it's a little.
Go back. Do yourself a favor.
To me, it is. If you listen to the debut and In Color, it's
just
vastly different.
Only because you're saying it.
Look up Cheap Trick, Steve Albini recordings. The whole album's on there, plus 3 or 4 other demos. But it sounds like they just finished the debut album and then jumped right into In Color. It is the same production as that first album. Very raw and punk sounding.
That's why I love their debut.
That's why I'm telling you.
My favorite. Yeah. Well, then that might be worth looking up.
Give it a listen, and don't expect it to be high-end quality.
No, but if you're comparing it to their debut,
I'm telling you,
listen to their debut and In Color, it's night and day.
Now, people watching our podcast, listening to our podcast, leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think. I want you to check it out if you're a fan of In Color.
And I bet they say the best Sabbath album's got Ozzy singing on it.
Well, that was 2 weeks ago, so I'm in the present. And what I'm talking about...
That just sticks with my craw, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah. Just do me a favor and check out...
I will.
Check it out. Steve Albini. You won't be disappointed, because it's a raw, gritty sounding. I think the lyrics are all the same pretty much, but Robin and Rick never liked the way In Color came out. So it was their dream to go back and re-record it, and so they did. Now, Steve Albini, I'm not a big have a lot of knowledge on him, but I believe he recorded Nirvana and some of that other 90s stuff, and he's been criticized quite a bit because he takes all the mid-range out of music and everything, and he's got a certain sound that's his. But I listened to it twice, and I was like, if I can get this on CD or on a real good digital cut, I'd listen to that over the album, over the 77 album. So give it some thought. Open your mind.
All right.
Will do. I'm opening it. Yeah. I'm going to open it. Yeah.
So we all agree least favorite track is You're All Talk.
I would agree, because everything else is such a gem. Yeah.
Your favorite, Jim?
Come on.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, it's hard to pick one.
Yes,
Sound is such a great song. Yeah. Southern Girls, such a great song. Just perfect, good pop rock.
Now,
yes, it is.
Come on, great songs. They have a Beatlesque type of harmonies and everything.
Oh yeah.
But what I was saying is Rick Nielsen did all the writing. Robin Zander is nowhere to be found in the writing. Tom Peterson helped Rick on a couple of the songs on In Color, and the rest of it is all music lyrics by Rick Nielsen. This guy's a genius.
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
Very underrated genius at that, I'll say.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody that can have that many necks on a guitar and still walk around upright is
and
amazing.
still carry it and play it.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to have 80 pounds of guitar on that.
Yeah.
Underrated guitar player.
Mhm.
Very under. Yeah.
Now this is he
think.
was a studio musician for years before Cheap Trick came around, and he's played with some heavyweights. He's like I said,
What was that?
Had a release with another band that
He
gosh,
played some
can't-
guitar with Hall & Oates, I know.
mhm.
Along the Red Ledge.
Good stuff. Just good. Just all the way around. They are just a talented band. Really, really like them.
And to be a kook and wear that turned up baseball cap and a sweater and a bow tie. So to look nutty kooky
Yeah.
and then just lay out the rock and roll.
Well, he was a fan of the Bowery Boys.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
great. Oh, classic. Bowery Boys.
Fan of the
Yes,
Bowery
that's
Boys,
good.
and he wanted to emulate that one guy that was on there, and that's way before my time. But I remember watching him as a kid.
Yeah.
I can almost think of that guy's name
Yeah,
too.
if you see it and you'll know. Oh, son of a gun, that's it. Oh well. Well, so we're moving forward. We've kind of, got our least favorite songs. Talked about our
Wait.
favorite. You got something else?
Did you say your favorite song?
Clock Strikes 10. Yeah, I think that's
Clock Strikes 10, is it? Okay.
That's today. That's today. Tomorrow it'll be something else.
Tomorrow will be
But
something
it
else.
won't be
That's
You're
our,
All
that's
Talk.
our Frank. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It will-
Yeah,
We can
exactly.
be sure of.
yeah. I've just never. That's one of the tunes. That's one of the reasons why I did like my iPod is I could skip that song when I had it on the iPod because I just never really gave it a whole lot of thought. It just wasn't a song that grabbed me.
Had to fill some time in the studio, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Throw a
know.
little thing out.
Yeah. Well, our next album, our next podcast is Jerry's pick, right?
Right.
What you got for us, Jerry? What are we going to talk about?
The classic Boston debut.
Hey, now.
album.
Oh,
1976, folks out in Conspiracy Land.
wow.
And I remember when I first heard it, it was like, I'm not a professional musician like you guys are, but I just remember thinking, well, I know that's guitar, but I've never heard anything rock like that.
Yeah.
That is just, and the solos. Oh, yeah, we'll get to it, folks. But yeah, Boston's debut album, 1976.
I've talked with some friends who have made the point that they don't believe Tom Schultz is the genius that everybody says he is. The other people in the band were much better musicians than Tom Schultz. So give that some thought. Listen to the bass, listen to the drums, and heck yeah, listen to Brad Delp sing.
It'll
Bless his
be
heart.
it'll
Yeah.
be worth
Voice of an
talking
angel.
about how that album was actually recorded.
Yes. Yeah. That changed a lot of things. Changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that was a whole different world. And it's when you have someone who's a physicist or whatever it is.
I just remember that was the hype when it first came out. Oh, this guy's a genius. He plays multiple tracks and blah.
Yeah.
Who cares? Jibber jabber. I hear it on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Very,
I like
very
that. That debut album is
solid.
beautiful.
Solid.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah.
And another, we'll probably talk about this again. I've told you before how naive I am and was when it came to music. I did not realize that was a guitar on the spaceship until about 2018. So never paid attention.
Neither did I. I don't think I figured it out till either I heard it on KMET or something back in the day,
Yeah.
or like Third Stage, where you can very well tell it's a guitar.
Never paid attention to it. And
Neither
Wow.
did I.
you know,
It's like a guitar upside down,
yeah,
flying
it's
away
upside
from
down.
you, folks.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I picked that out pretty quickly.
Did you?
So
Yeah.
that's our Jim.
And see, again, some bands, their album art would take me away, and I would stick hours and hours upon looking at it. Never once did I pick up the Boston album cover and say, "Ooh, wow, what a cool album
To me,
cover."
I thought it was like a nuclear explosion or something.
Yeah.
It was like a mushroom cloud
I
or
just
something.
thought it was a spaceship taking off. I never knew it was a
Well,
guitar. So,
Yeah.
you live and learn. So,
Yes, you do. Some folks just live.
yeah. That would be me. That would be me.
Well, we are, guys. We all are.
All right. Well, do we have any other business to discuss before we call it a night?
How are the wives, guys? How are the wives? Everybody good?
Excellent.
good.
Like I said, it's
Okay, beautiful. Same
Cindy's
here.
birthday, so she's turned this into a birthday month, so I have plenty of things to do whether I want to or not. And we just again live and learn.
That's it. That's it.
you just threw audio evidence out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Saying
Well,
that.
we've discussed it.
He blew it, Jim, but we already know that anyway. We know that with Miss Cindy. Yeah,
We've discussed it at length that it's going to be a long month. So
All right.
It's all good though.
Well,
It's
thank
all-
God it's the
Oh, it
shortest
is
month of the
good.
year. Then
Yeah,
It's the
you
shortest
better
month
believe
of the
it.
year. So yeah, you don't have too much to worry about.
It's great to get out and do stuff and spend time with your spouse, especially when it's your best friend.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
And, that's
We're
where
blessed,
we're at.
guys. We are so blessed.
Yeah. Yep, that's for sure. Well, do you have anything else, Jerry?
No, that's pretty much
No?
it for me. I heard they had a Super Bowl the other day, but yeah,
No,
whatever.
I saw the Puppy Bowl. I don't know. I didn't.
You probably got the best viewing of the day then.
Jim, you got anything?
I do not.
All right, then. Well, then, what does that mean?
Shop is closed.
That's right, folks. The shop is closed. Well,
So 9, we're out.
episode 9. We've got 9 in the can. That's pretty good. Pretty
Yeah, it
good.
is.
Like us, share, subscribe, Instagram, freaking YouTube. Where we at? We're on Facebook.
Email, JFJ, JFJ show, Gmail.
Spotify.
And before we go, if anybody's lasted this long, I want to know what your favorite Alice Cooper song is. Put it in the comment section down below.
Good job, Frank.
Let
Yeah.
us know. Let us know what you're thinking.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about my new backdrop? You guys like that?
love
I like it. I can barely see the word zap.
Yeah. Well, I had to change
Is that like
studios.
Is that like a Batman motif?
Yeah, I'm in the Bat
Got
studio
it.
right now.
Okay, because it's real close. I can just barely see the word zap and then the high rise behind you. Very good. Very good, Frank.
And a shout out real quick before we go. I know the shop is closed, so this is kind of extracurricular activity. Nate from Glass Radio got a hold of us.
Nate Curiel, bless his heart.
Yeah. Super
All right,
nice guy.
T-shirt winner.
He was one of our T-shirt winners, and he said,
Right,
you know
when
what?
you picked him.
He's going to send us some shirts of Glass Radio as well. So one
Right on.
episode,
Nate.
we're all going to
Right
have to
on,
sport our
Nate. Thank
T-shirts
you.
on one of our future shows. How about that?
And Nick and Kyle,
Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good deal. All right, then. The shop really is closed.
It really is closed. Have a good
Keep
night,
rocking,
guys.
folks. Keep rocking.